What's going on, folks? It's your man Jay, and today we're going to do a mini review. My first, kind of a review for the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Now, I've been using the Galaxy Note 10 Plus and the Galaxy Note 10 since launch. So I don't know how long that's been, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know. I'm not really keeping track. But I do know that I put out a lot of content on this phone, and it's time to give you some sense of how I feel about it. So let's start with the obvious, which is the hardware. Now, the hardware on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus falls in line with every other Samsung device, or pretty much most of the devices that are hitting the internet right now. Glass front and back, metal frame. The difference is the Galaxy Note is square. It is very square, and it is boxy, period. So it might be a little tough on the hands if you get the Plus model. The Plus model is 6.8 inches, but it's pretty much just full screen. And I have large hands, obviously, so it's not that uncomfortable for me. But still, this is a big phone, so keep that in mind. We're talking about 6.8 inches, so it's almost a 7-inch display on this device. So, full screen, beautiful screen, but full screen, but big. Sharp corners make it sometimes difficult to hold and use for an extended period of time. For a lot of people, they might experience that. Personally, I don't think I'm experiencing any kind of fatigue in my hands from holding the device for a long period of time. But it is a boxy, sharp device, so keep that in mind when you decide to order. You might want to consider the smaller variant, which is a 6.3-inch display, but you do drop off in some areas. So the next thing I want to talk about is the battery life on this thing. Battery life, for me, I can easily push down 7 hours of screen on time or more in a single charge. And the charges last between 22 to a day and a half. In between there, grabbing up to 7.5 or more hours of usage out of the device, and I think that's pretty good considering the device has a 4,300 milliamp hour battery. It's good. It'll do for what I'm using it for. So ultimately, I'm getting great battery. So, or I feel like that's pretty good battery. It's not as good as the OnePlus 7 Pro or the OnePlus 6T or phones that like the Pixel 3a XL kill their battery. It's not like that, but it's still good screen on time. And those phones get the same battery or more, but they get longer standby time. So I'm off the charger for a longer period of time using those other devices that I name and some others as well. So battery life, I don't think you have a problem with it. Next thing is the S Pen suite. Now the S Pen suite is something that I just don't really cover much anymore. I'm using the S Pen for just a few. Smart Select is still my favorite option in the S Pen suite, and then also I've found myself using the S Pen more for editing because I've been doing a lot of editing on this device, and I might even edit this video on the device. I'm not sure yet, but I've been doing a lot of editing on the device, and I found that using the S Pen is great on the timeline. Using Power Director Pro, it just flows right along with no problems. I just don't have an issue with it. So I think that's a huge plus. Note 10 Plus, no pun intended. It's a really good thing. And I just think the S Pen suite is a bonus, if you will, to the Samsung Galaxy. The Galaxy, it's a bonus to the Galaxy line. Okay. It's a bonus to the Galaxy line. So I think that's a huge plus. The S Pen suite, I've covered it in other videos, and it's really not that much different than previous videos that I've covered the S Pen suite in. One thing I take advantage of with the S Pen for sure is recording videos. You can stop, take photos, flip the camera, have gestures. I don't use the gestures, but I do use the stopping and starting a video and photos. That's pretty much what I do with that. Just cut and dry. There's nothing fancy about that, but it's very nice to have. That option to have that remote, I like it. S Pen battery lasts a long time. I think Samsung says you can get about 30 minutes of use out of it, and you charge it. I think that's, don't quote me on that, but I know that it charges really fast. So you plug it in and then boom, it's charged in a matter of 10 minutes or something like that. So I mean, it's not a big battery. So I think that's nice. One thing, other thing I want to talk about outside the S Pen is the reverse charging. I have put watches and earbuds on there, and it works. And some people are saying that it's not a gimmick. Okay, if you don't want to call it a gimmick, I think most people will probably forget that it's even there. I think people who defend that just want to have something to talk about, because there's no way I'm charging my Galaxy Buds on the back of my phone. I'm just going to plug them in, you know, put them in the case and plug them in. It's just the fastest way to do it. It's not really fast charging that way. So that's why I label it more on the gimmicky side, or just an extra feature that just to say that they can do it. But until it charges just as fast as a plug-in in our phone, I don't use wireless charging at all. I prefer to plug in. It's just really, really fast. I mean, I don't even use wireless charging. Some people say they use wireless charging, like they let it sit overnight and or whatever, but I just don't do it at all. I plug it up. If you hardwire it, plug that bad boy into the wall, and within 20 minutes or 10 minutes, you'll have almost a full battery. You know, it'll blast through that first 20 to 30 minutes really fast and get most of the battery charged. You could be good. But anyway, that's that reverse charging thing. Don't really use it too much. One of the more obvious things on the phone is the screen. The screen on the Galaxy Note, the Galaxy Note 10 devices, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, they have fantastic displays. The Galaxy, they have great displays. And I think you'd be hard pressed to say, you know, if you think that they don't have great displays, well, just look at somebody else's display. Look at the OnePlus 7 Pro's display. Look at a lot of the displays on the market are Samsung displays. Samsung is doing the beast mode with the displays. They just it's beautiful. The full screen, the little cutout from the camera, that bothers some people. You know, those people might have some really bad OCD or something, but I personally, I don't even notice it after a while. Just like if I can get over the cutout on the iPhone, I can get over anything. And you know, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. The display, when watching content, HDR content or whatever it is absolutely stunning, folks. It's really, really good. It's beautiful. There's just no other way to say it. It's just a fantastic looking display. And other than that, man, I mean, social media and everything on here is really good. You know, it's okay. I just really like the phone a lot. But you want to hear about the cameras. So I have been using these cameras to record like 95% of the footage on the channel. And most of the cases when I'm not using this phone to record something, it's my DSLR. And lately I've been firing up the OnePlus 7, well, it stays on, but I've been using that to record footage of the Galaxy Note, the Galaxy Note 10, Galaxy Note 10 Plus. I've been using that phone to do a lot of the footage of this phone. And recently I put the G8 back in the mix just to see, you know, what that audio was looking like and the updates or anything. But other than that, folks, I mean, the cameras on this device, to me, they're stellar. I don't think they do very well outside, like in the bright sunlight and just outside, period. I don't like how it produces some of the footage outside. I do, however, like being able to record 4K at 60 frames per second and no overheating issues. Photos, I don't take a lot of photos with this device. I do more video, and that's why I tend to focus on video on this channel. I think the cameras indoors are just stellar. I've used them for so many videos. All of those iPhone videos that I did, all done with the Galaxy Note. All those case reviews and stuff, all done with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Banging cameras for indoor recording in your office, vlogs, everything. 4K on the front and the rear is very nice. So I think you guys will really be impressed with that. So there it is, man. Kind of a real quick, brief mini review to go over some of the things since I've been using this. And I don't foresee myself disliking this phone, and I'm going to obviously have this in rotation until the next Galaxy Note comes out. So which Galaxy do you have? It's a match. I'm trolling in this video, man. I'm sorry. I didn't plan on doing that, but it just sounds funny. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed Galaxy Note 10 Plus, my little 2-week, 3-week mini review. See you in the next one. Take care.